Dutch colonists stole an entire continent using nothing but ships and trading companies in the year 1652. At the southern tip of Africa, a quiet shoreline was about to become a battleground of commerce, conquest, and colonial ambition. For centuries, the Cape of Good Hope had been a landmark for sailors navigating the treacherous seas between Europe and Asia. But for the Khoikhoi people, this was not just a waypoint, it was home. They lived from the land, herding cattle, trading, and moving with the seasons. On April 6, 1652, 3 ships from the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, dropped anchor in Table Bay. Their mission was clear: to build a refreshment station for the Dutch trading. The Dutch East India Company didn't just want a pit stop for their spice trade routes to Asia, they wanted permanent control. So they created the world's first gas station, except instead of gas, it was fresh food, water, and ship repairs. Think about it. You control the only pit stop on the most profitable trade route in human history. Every English, Portuguese, and French ship that wants to make it to India alive has to stop at your little outpost and pay your prices. So they sent Jan van Riebeeck with 3 ships and about 90 men to build a refreshment station at the Cape of Good Hope. Jan van Riebeeck, a Dutch surgeon and merchant, stepped ashore not as a guest, but as a representative of European power. They built Fort de Goede Hoop, planted gardens, and laid out a grid for the first permanent European settlement in southern Africa. They claimed the land as their own without treaties, without negotiation, and soon began importing enslaved people from other colonies to do the hard labor. At first, the Dutch traded with the Khoikhoi for cattle. But as the colony expanded, relations soured, land was fenced, cattle were taken, and when resistance came, it was met with gunfire. The Khoikhoi-Dutch wars would rage for decades, setting the stage for centuries of conflict and dispossession. 1652 was also the year of the First Anglo-Dutch War, brutal naval conflict driven by greed and global rivalry. The English under Cromwell had passed the Navigation Acts, cutting into Dutch trade profits. The seas became a war zone as both empires fought for dominance of the world's oceans. What started as a simple trading post turned into Cape Town, but the locals had no idea what was coming. The timing was perfect for the Dutch. England was distracted by war. Other European powers were focused on the Americas. One small settlement in 1652 became the foundation for Dutch colonial dominance in southern